Hi everyone. My name is Burak Arikan. Thanks for inviting me and hosting hosting this amazing event today and yesterday. So I'm an artist and technologist working with complex networks, graphs, and graph data in general. And I'm also the founder of this company called graphcommons.com, where you can make network visualizations and analysis. And in general, it's a general purpose system. It's open platform. You can check it out yourself later. So today I'm going to talk about something called Dutch auction. I'm sure many of you are familiar with this concept, this method. So it's usually used in the stock markets during an IPO company. The price of the shares are decided based on this auction model. Famously, Google used this in 1999, and it's used in token sales a lot. Polkadot had this time, I think around 2017, they use it as well. But before that, why am I interested in this concept? I want to show you very briefly about this project that I made quite a decade ago called Meta Markets. It was an online stock market for social media profiles. What does that really mean? So, as you all know, we upload all our stuff, our content to these social media websites, and we follow people. We have these social graphs. We got these customized, personalized feeds, and obviously these platforms make huge money out of our activity and our future activities as well. And they generate this value, but we never know what's our worth for this platform. Like how myself or my individual profile, how much is it, and how much they really make out of my profile is an unknown. It's a question that we never know. So this is again 2007, quite a while ago. We made this project called Meta Markets to really find out about this information. So it's an online market, stock market, where you can actually IPO your profile, say on Facebook, or by then it was popular Flickr, delicious bookmarking, if you guys remember that, or some others. Like you can think about like Instagram accounts and Twitter accounts today. So the way it works is like there's an auction, a Dutch auction. So you basically, say when you sign up to this platform, you divide your profile into 1,000 shares. And some portion you select it. It can be 1 million too, of course. It can be, doesn't really matter. So we divide it into 1,000 shares. Some portion of it you pick it up and then say, I'm going to sell this in the open market. And you basically do this in this interface, and it's an auction. The auction starts. People start buying and selling your tokens. They actually bid how much they want to buy from you and for what price and all that. So, like in all stock markets, there's this, supply-demand balances and speculation about your profile, and this defines what your price is in this given market. Obviously, this is a social market, so people only buy from the people that they know that they are really interested in, and you can see from the interface, it's an old design from 2007. People buying from this person's account, and they are the people who also quite following them in the same platform probably. So we started getting this kind of information in this platform. Also the community at the time, it was around maybe 2,000 people using this, and they were discussing each share, what does that really mean, why the value is this much, and they had this forum where people discussed these ideas as well. And we ended up creating this kind of data standard specification for user labor on social media platforms, and it's called userlabor.org. You can check out yourself today. It's an old specification, but quite relevant still to this day. So at the time, we used a virtual currency and a database, obviously central, running on a server. And then, as I said, you clicked a button up there, a link, and it gets your data from the service that you're part of, and then makes a calculation about your fair value, whatever that means, and it presents to the audience for this auction. So the way auction works, or Dutch auctions work, is actually quite simple and very beautiful. So usually bids are sorted by price, And the total available shares, when the total available shares are filled, the price of the last bid that's filling that, the available shares sets the clearing price. In this little screenshot, you can see it here briefly. It's like, there's a price there. Just to maybe make it more clear for you. So when a company, decides to sell its 400 shares for now, let's say, bidders are doing this random, price and amount bids, investors, and the placement works this way. So you sort everything by price, and when you calculate each of the bids amount, the total amount basically when it exceeds this limit, it's the clearing price, and so everybody gets from this price their own shares, and the people who are left out, they cannot get anything. So if you want to win this auction, you want to really have bigger prices than what's going on here. As simple as that. So I'm basically re-implementing this in using Substrate these days. That's kind of my current project, also for learning. So it's basically a combination of three things. The ERC20 tokens that we saw yesterday, and there's a Dutch auction, kind of a module out there, and then there's a DEX system, so that you can actually make this trading after the auction. And the way it works is like, I know if it's visible, but basically these are the events we have for Dutch auction only. So it uses this current ERC20 token module and adds on top of that these three events, the auction creation, the bids, the bidding itself, and then the auction finalization. And the structs are like in this format. There's this Dutch auction structure, and then the bid structure. Bid structure is simple. There's a price, there's an amount, there's a bidder. And the Dutch auction is like, there's the ID of the token, the issuer, the account ID. There's a sales amount, how much I want to sell, in this auction. And there's the expiry in a certain block number in the future. And there's the the minimum bid amount, the minimum bid price, and the clearing price. The minimum bid amount is quite important here. I'll come to that. Storage-wise, we have the token auctions, and aside from this is all ERC20 token structs, storage items, and here is only for the auction itself as well as the bids, and we have the calls for creation of the auction, the ending, the bid for the bid, as well as ending or finalizing the auction itself. A couple of interesting things to be cautious here. For instance. So any auction ends in one block in the future. So if you have many auctions or infinite amount of auctions in the future in that current block, you have a problem. So you want to really limit that or bound that possibility. So we introduced this parameter called max auctions per block. So it's 10, for instance, now. And then so when we are trying to finalize these auctions, we always check against this limit, so that no one can create an auction in a future block more than 10, basically. That's the idea. And the second interesting point is we use the unreserve for escrow, because it's needed when you when you bid, you actually reserve from your balance, and then so that when the auction is finalized, automatically that amount is reduced from your balance, or you get your money back through the unreserved function. And finally. I said the minimum bid amount is important because there's another interesting problem, especially during your runtime call functions. You may have very tiny amounts bid as bid. So if you have, say, 1,000 shares available, and people bid very tiny amounts, and you want to really limit this possibility as well. So there's a minimum bid amount that people can add. So that defines this little upper limit of how much your bids can be, the array size of your bids, basically. So in combination of that, there's this auction system. It's actually as a demo. It works on my laptop right now, but I'm not going to show it right away because we have limited time, and the launch is ready almost. That's it. Thank you.